Chapter 12 and Song 12 Summary. Since Boethius believes that God governs the universe, philosophy says she is confident she has almost finished rescuing him from spiritual exile. However, she still wants to recount her arguments. God is happiness itself, therefore he must be fully sufficient, and therefore he governs the universe alone. God is the good itself, and governs the universe himself. Therefore he governs the universe through goodness. And all creatures submit to God's guidance as they act according to their natures. Even if they oppose God, they will surely not succeed, since God is all-powerful. God's good governance of the universe, therefore, cannot fail. Philosophy then tries to bring the arguments together to reveal a further truth. Since God can do anything, but cannot do evil, evil must be nothing. Boethius objects to this labyrinth of tangled arguments, reviewing philosophy's statements. Chapter 12. Then I proclaimed, I agree with Plato with all my heart. Indeed, this is the second time that these things have been brought back to my mind. I lost them first through the contagion of the body, and then afterward through the heavy weight of grief. Then she continued, if you will reflect upon what you admitted before, you will quickly remember what you confessed to be ignorant of not long ago. What is that? I wondered. The principles of the world's government, she said. Yes, I remember my confession, and although I think I can just glimpse what you are about to say, I want to hear you explain it clearly. A while ago, you thought it was beyond all doubt that God governs the world. I do not think it doubtful now, nor will I ever, and I will briefly set forth the reasons for my assurance. This world could never have taken shape as a single system out of parts so diverse and opposite unless someone joined together these things that differ so greatly. And once it came together, the very diversity of natures would have kept it from staying united and torn it apart in universal discord unless someone kept together what he had joined. Nor would the order of nature proceed so regularly, nor could its course exhibit motions so fixed in respect of position, time, range, effect, and character, unless someone, who remained unchanged, regulated the ups and downs of change. This power, whatever it is, by which created things remain as they were created and are kept in motion, I call by the name that all recognize, God. Then she replied, since you believe that, I think it will not be hard to enable you to win happiness and return safely to your own country. But let us focus on the task we have set for ourselves. Have we not counted sufficiency in the category of happiness and agreed that God is absolute happiness? Indeed we have. Then he will need no external assistance for the ruling of the world. Otherwise, if he needs anything, he will not possess complete sufficiency. That must be so, I acknowledged. Then, by his own power alone, he arranges all things. That cannot be denied. Now, we proved that God is the absolute good. Yes, I remember. Then, he arranges all things by the agency of the good, if it is true that he whom we have agreed to be good rules all things by his own power. Also he is, as it were, the rudder and helm by which the world's mechanism is kept steady and in order. I agree heartily, and indeed I anticipated what you would say, though I wasn't quite sure. I well believe it, she responded, for I think your eyes are now quicker at spotting truth. But what I am about to argue is just as plain and easy to see. What is it? I asked. Why, she answered, since we rightly believe that God governs all things with the rudder of goodness, and since all things also, as I have taught, hasten toward good by the aim of nature itself, can we doubt that his governance is willingly accepted, and that all submit themselves to the sway of the one who arranges them, being in agreement and harmony with his rule? That cannot be doubted, I agreed. No rule would seem happy if it were a yoke imposed on reluctant wills, instead of a promise of the safety of obedient subjects. There is nothing, then, which, while it follows its nature, tries to resist God. No, nothing. But if anything did, would it have the least success against him whom we rightly agreed to be the supreme Lord of happiness? It would be utterly powerless. There is nothing, then, which has either the will or the power to oppose this supreme good. No, I would say not. So then, she went on, it is the supreme good that rules in strength and graciously arranges all things. Then I said, I am delighted by your reasoning and the conclusion you have come to, but most of all by the words you use. I am now at last ashamed of the foolishness that agitated me so much. You have heard the story of the giants who assailed heaven, who were kindly and firmly dealt with as they deserved. But do you think we should submit our arguments to the shock of mutual collision? Perhaps the impact will kindle a bright spark of truth. If you think it is a good idea, I concurred. No one can doubt that God is all-powerful. No one who thinks consistently could question it. Now, there is nothing that one who is all-powerful cannot do. Nothing. But can God do evil, then? No, by no means. Then, evil is nothing, she asserted, since the one to whom nothing is impossible is unable to do evil. You are mocking me, I burst out, and weaving a labyrinth of tangled arguments I cannot escape, now seeming to come in where you went out, and now to go out where you went in. Or are you building up some wonderful circle of divine simplicity? For truly a moment ago you began with happiness, and said it was the supreme good, and declared it to be seated in the supreme God. God himself, too, you affirmed to be supreme good and all complete happiness, and from this you went on to add, as something extra, the proof that no one would be happy unless he were likewise divine. Again, you said that the form of good itself was the essence both of God and of happiness, and taught that the absolute one was the absolute good that nature universally seeks. You maintained also that God rules the universe by the rudder of goodness, that all things obey him willingly, and that evil does not have any real existence. And all this you unfolded without the help of assumptions from outside, but by inherent and proper proofs, each supported by the previous proof. Then she answered, I would never mock you. No, by the blessing of God, to whom we just prayed, we have achieved the most important of all goals. For the divine essence is such that it can neither pass into things external, nor take up anything external into itself. Rather, as the ancient philosopher Parmenides described it, its body is like a sphere perfectly rounded on all sides. It rotates the moving sphere of the universe, while itself remaining motionless. And if I have also employed reasons not drawn from outside our subject, but lying within its boundaries, you shouldn't be surprised, since you have learned on Plato's authority that words should be appropriate to the matter being discussed. Song 12. Orpheus and Eurydice. Blessed he whose feet have stood beside the source of good. Blessed he whose will could break earth's chains for wisdom's sake. A famous bard, 'tis said, mourned his beloved, dead. To hear the wailing song the woods moved as a throng, and the streams ceased to flow, held by so soft a woe. The deer without dismay beside the lion lay. The hound, by song subdued, no more the hare pursued. But anguish, still burning, in his heart was churning. The music that could calm all else brought him no balm. Blaming the powers immortal, he came unto hell's portal. There breathed all tender things upon his sounding strings. Each calming song he brought, his goddess mother taught. All he from grief could borrow, and love redoubling sorrow, till, as the echoes waken, the gates of hell are shaken. To mercy he persuades the monarch of the shades with pleasing prayer, Spellbound, the triple-headed hound, at sounds so strangely sweet, falls crouching at his feet. The dreadful furies, too, who guilty minds pursue with ever-haunting fears, are all dissolved in tears. Ixion, on his wheel, a brief respite can feel, for look, the wheel stands still. And while those sad notes thrill, thirst-maddened Tantalus listens, oblivious of the stream's mockery and his long agony. The vultures, too, now spare a little while to tear at Tityos' rent side, at peace and satisfied. At length the Shadow King, his sorrows pitying, "He has prevailed," cried. "We give him back his bride. To him she shall belong. I will reward his song. One sole condition yet upon this gift is set. Let him not turn his eyes to view his hard-won prize till they securely pass the gates of hell." Alas! What law can lovers move? A higher law is love. For Orpheus, woe is me, on his Eurydice, day's threshold all but won, looked, lost, and was undone. You who the light pursue, this story is for you, who seek to find a way toward the clearer day. If on the darkness past one backward look you cast, your weak and wandering eyes will lose the matchless prize.